Hello and welcome to This Is. Is it time to Legion Go down to buy yourself a new Legion Go?
I think we all need to have a little chat about this because the Legion Go 2 on paper is absolutely ridiculous. The brand new AMD Z2 Extreme processor, which makes it officially the most powerful handheld that you can get. It's got itself a huge 8.8-inch OLED display, looks great, way bigger than like ROG or like even the MSI Claw, Steam Deck.
Maybe an Ioneo.
It also has the neat little trick where you can pop off the little side rails. It's super simple to do, and I love this mechanism so much.
If you know how to do it.
I can do it. You just talk for a second. I'll pop it off.
I pissed off a lot of people when we did a gaming handheld tier list, and I said that the Legion Go was my S tier handheld. And a lot of people were like, what about the ROG? What about the Steam Deck? We have been eaten the last couple of years with handhelds. There are very few bad handhelds. All the mainstream ones are really good.
Yes, except for the Windows part.
Yeah. My handheld of choice for the past several years, I've been using the Legion Go original, especially since not that long ago, this got Steam OS on here. I like the Switch style form factor. Basically, my thought going into the Go S over here, I'm like, it's fine, whatever.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I missed the handle. There was so little that I felt like they needed to do to make the 2 better than the 1. I thought this was like the easiest home run for them. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, so here's the sad part. The Legion Go 2 is not great. The things that they've improved, right? So more performance. Ken actually has got a video on this coming soon, but I think in some of his benchmarks, he was seeing like 20-ish% more performance, which is not nothing. And it does actually make a bigger difference if you turn the TDP down. But this is actually thicker and heavier than the Legion Go 1.
It's also weighted weirdly.
What's weird about the weight
Most
here?
of the weight is in the bottom.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't feel that part. I'm a little biased because I prefer a smaller handheld. And this thing is absolutely a chunk. I mean, just look at the size of it. My hand barely fits around it. It's thick, it's heavy. The last time I spent some time with the Legion Go was with the Legion Go S. Now, this is the little brother to the Go and the Go 2. You have 2 options with this. You can get it with both Windows, or this is the Steam OS version, which as of recording this video, this is the only officially certified non-Steam Deck that actually, from Valve, runs Steam OS. The biggest problem though, and I think the one that everyone has been piling on, is price. When the Legion Go S, the little baby brother, was announced, it was gonna be about $500. I think it actually has gone on sale for like $550, $600 for the base model, and it'll go up if you wanna upgrade it and whatnot. Expensive, but kinda, in the ballpark. It's a full Windows and or SteamOS handheld. The original Legion Go, when it came out, I believe was $700?
The Z1 Extreme was $800.
$800, yeah. The Legion Go 2, with the Z2, mind you, not the Z2 Extreme, the regular Z2 processor, is $1,100. And if you want to upgrade it to this spec, which is the Z2 Extreme with the extra RAM and everything, it is $1,350. Look, I understand that we live in a time in which prices are all kind of wiggly. I understand that the OLED is better, that the Z2 Extreme, all these kind of things. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how this is defensible. I've been able to speak with some of the team behind the Lenovo Legion Go. I got to try this thing like at CES this year. It was not until like 2 days before the launch that I actually got the price. I literally had to like email my rep, like, wait, sorry, is that in like Canadian dollars? Like, sorry, how much? Literally my jaw was on the floor. I could not believe that that was actually the price. So even with like $700 to $800 for the original, going up like another $100, $200, I mean, that's a big deal. But like going up, what, $500?
I feel like I was such a vocal proponent of this, and I'm so disappointed. A comment that we get in the videos all the time, which annoys the crap out of me, is just get a gaming PC. Clearly you don't understand the difference in what a gaming PC versus a handheld. However, in this scenario, yes, get a gaming PC.
Are you trying to tell me that this is thicker than most gaming laptops and not that much smaller?
This is an amazing device.
If it was $1,000,
maybe.
Okay, no, I actually totally disagree. There's some people out there who want the very best, and there's no argument, like, just take price out of the equation. There's a real argument to be had that this is the most badass gaming handheld you can possibly get your hands on right now. I personally don't agree with that argument because for some personal reasons, I find this to be too big, too thick, too heavy. Even though the handles definitely kind of help to balance it out a little bit. I mean, the screen's phenomenal. Over the last couple years, I've actually been a Steam Deck gamer. And in fact, that's actually where I play the vast majority of my games. I have spent some time with the Legion Go S. I like it quite a bit, but for me, it's still a little bit too big and chunky. So that was kind of one of the deciding factors why I've stuck with the Steam Deck. This is bananas town. It is so massive and large. I get it that they've got the little guy here, quote unquote little guy with the Go S, that they could go bigger and like
calling that the little guy is
it's crazy, right? Because this is still huge. The other elephant in the room, other than the price, which I think makes this even harder of a sell, is the ROG Xbox Ally. That thing is coming out as recording this video in the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's coming out soon. As we're recording this video, we do not yet have the price for the ROG Xbox Ally, but I would wager quite a princely sum of money that it will be less than $1,350.
A princely sum of money.
That's how much money you need to buy one of these things.
There is not going to be an ROG Ally 2. The Xbox is the ROG Ally 2.
Yeah.
So kind of take that out of the equation. Obviously, you have the new improved Windows Xbox hybrid OS.
So the way that I understand it right now is that this Legion runs just regular Windows. You can sideload SteamOS on it if you want. The ROG Xbox Ally gets the new updated version of Windows, which is not massively overhauled. It's really just the Xbox app that it boots into, and it doesn't load some of the nonsense stuff in the back. This will get that version. Theoretically, I've heard spring of next year. I just think that anyone who's in the market for a gaming handheld here in September/October of 2025 should chill. Just take a second, breathe. Because the ROG Xbox Ally, we got to try it briefly. We got to actually put hands on it. I will say a million times more comfortable than any of the things on the table here. Also, it's just smaller, 7-inch display as opposed to these massive 8+ inch displays. There's a scenario in which the ROG Xbox Ally, the base model is like $500, $550. The higher model is like $800, maybe $900, whatever. And it destroys these guys in value, has better software, and is easier, nicer to use.
I just don't see that happening price-wise.
Well, there's a reason why they haven't announced it until like 5 seconds before the thing comes out.
I had said something a couple, I would say like 18 months ago. I had said that these handhelds are gonna plateau hard. This guy specifically, at $1,300, I feel like all hype for these handhelds just went pew.
That's a good point.
Because when the Steam Deck came out, it was, I could play all my Steam games for $400. That's crazy.
And to be fair, the Steam Deck is still $400.
There's some games that just don't quite work with the Steam Deck. Obviously, anti-cheat stuff is still a problem on there. You're not gonna be able to play everything on a Steam Deck.
Correct, yes.
Partly why I gravitated towards the Legion is I can play like World of Warcraft on this. It's just more options, and it is more and it runs better than a Steam Deck. Now to say, okay, is this $900 better than a base Steam Deck? What improvements could you make to this device to justify $1,300 to you? And I can't think of one.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a summation of technology that's been happening over the past few years. The processors, it used to be, they get to a smaller nanometer. It gets cheaper to manufacture, blah, blah. That's not the case anymore.
Can I hit you with some live, as of recording this video, some live price data from BestBuy.com. Legion Go 2, as we've already established, $1,100 and $1,350. The Legion Go 1, 16 terabyte, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs with 1 terabyte is $750. The Legion Go S running Steam, $600.
If someone was to ask me what handheld I should get, I'm telling you to get a used Z1 Extreme Legion Go.
Every one of the Legion handhelds, in my personal opinion, too big. I know that everyone likes a big screen, and I understand that there are benefits to that, but there's also a certain point in which these things are heavy, they're strained on your wrists.
I will fully admit that when I put this in my backpack, I don't have a case for it. I take the controllers off, and that fits in my bag better. The bang for your buck is not there for these newer consoles. Basically, when we're talking about the new Windows experience, the rumor is that all Windows handhelds are gonna get that in the future.
I would wager, because this is the video where I'm making bets apparently, that new version of Windows will be available on pretty much every handheld. Like they should just do that. But it's very unclear, right? Because I think what's happening is right now is Microsoft only want to keep the shine on the ROG Xbox Ally. Right. Once that's out and once kind of things have kind of calmed down a little bit, then they'll go, okay, cool. It's going to roll out to the Legion Go. It's going to roll out to the original Ally, yada, yada, yada. It'd be crazy if they either don't do that or someone doesn't come up with a way to sideload it or whatever. I'm becoming less and less convinced that that new version of Windows is a dramatic overhaul. Nah. Don't quote me on this if it's not true, but my understanding understanding is you're still gonna be missing some features like being able to put your games to sleep and wake up, which is one of my favorite parts of SteamOS. I don't have to reboot and spend 3 minutes loading the game. I push the power button and I'm gaming within 2 seconds. It's exactly like something like a Switch. The thing that really gets me with these, I've seen data that indicates that the Steam Deck is still far and away the best seller of all the handhelds, not counting the Switch. Keep in mind that the Steam Deck is that successful, not really being sold in retail versus, a Legion or an ROG Ally, whatever, where you're walking through a random store and that helps sales quite a lot. And I think a huge part of that is the price. I think the fact that the Steam Deck is $400 or the OLED version, which is $550, which I would still say is still a very competent sort of device. When you're talking about spending $600 plus, I just think that that's a really narrow slice. And the problem is that for companies like Asus, for companies like Lenovo, for companies like Zotac, they've got to make money on hardware, right? Valve doesn't need to make money on the hardware. Valve make money for you buying games on Steam. For something like a first-party Xbox handheld or the hybrid third-party ROG Xbox Ally, if there was some subsidizing going on, that I think is gonna be necessary, because if I'm someone like Sony, who are, obviously deep in development, it seems, on a PS6 portable, price is absolutely the name of the game, right? I'm sorry, I don't care about an 8.8-inch beautiful giant OLED display. I care about efficiency, I care about price, I care about size and portability. People are cross-shopping these ultimately with stuff like the Steam Deck, which is smaller than every other handheld pretty much, but also people cross-shopping with the Switch 2. At $450, $500, the Switch 2 is still very powerful, incredibly thin and light compared to these. And I'm gonna just guess that over the next couple of years, a whole bunch of the games that you're enjoying playing are gonna start getting ports to the Switch 2. If you are a manufacturer of PC handhelds, you're living in a really narrow little lane where you got Steam Deck on one side, Switch 2 on the other. What are you gonna do? Try to go after the high end with $1,300 handhelds? I don't know how successful it's gonna be.
It feels like these handhelds are trying to be everything. When I heard about the S, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be like, this is just, to me, this is the Legion Go 2. Part of the reason I liked the Go more than anything else, pop off the controllers.
It's still a terrible mechanism. I cannot believe they shipped this for 2 generations now.
But look at that. You get a little keyboard. You have a discrete laptop that you could take. If you're a student or something like that, no one's gonna question you using this. You can't do that with other gaming handhelds. That's kind of why I like this one. It was just a little bit more versatile to me.
But the problem is, like, the new one, it's bigger, heavier, chunkier. I understand why Lenovo went so high end. I get it. I understand that this is also probably not the price point that they were originally targeting until, tariffs and all these other things. Like, I understand, things happen.
But even if you do the math, we're looking at a 100% increase compared to this one
in price. It's just a head scratcher. I feel like it's rare to have a product that feels like such an obvious miss. I almost don't want to rip into it too heavily, because I'm like, am I missing something here? Like, obviously the response online has been incredibly negative.
It takes one company to do this, and then guess what? All the other ones are gonna be like, oh.
But the difference there is that I don't think this is selling. No. I don't think a lot of people are gonna buy this thing at that kind of price. I think the sweet spot is Switch 2. Not necessarily everyone should go buy a Switch 2, but I'm talking about like something that's thin, light, portable, efficient, decent battery life, and less than $500, right? Like, I feel like that's where things are.
This is my point, though, is I have different values when I'm looking at a handheld. When I'm looking at this handheld, I'm not necessarily thinking about bringing it with me traveling or something like that. I'm sitting in bed with this, or I'm sitting on the couch with this, where I don't care that this is bigger and heavier because I'm resting in like on a pillow or something like that. We're two completely different use cases for the same device. I don't care how efficient this is because I've almost never played with this not plugged in.
I would guess that you're a little bit in the minority there, though. I do assume most people who have handhelds are using them on battery most of the time, would be my guess. At that point, like, you should just have a laptop.
But that's kind of my point, though, of like, who is this product targeting? And if it's just targeting all gamers, even gaming PCs don't try and target all gamers. They still have the niches of like, oh, we're trying to target the, the budget gamer who's doing more Minecraft.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the high-end guys who want to have max setting AAA stuff.
For the kind of money that you're spending on this, you could buy like an RTX like 5060 or almost like a 5070 laptop if you get it on sale, right? Like, it's completely a different league of performance. To me, I just feel like I'm gonna keep beating this drum. We need efficiency, not only in battery life, but also in the size. I mean, look at how big the vent is on the Go 2. It's absolutely enormous. Now, it's important to keep this chip cool and run it at max spec, but then the problem is that when you're running at max spec, the battery life is not very good. It's loud. To me, something like the base ROG Xbox Ally, which is almost guaranteed to have essentially a version of the Steam Deck chip, which is not the most powerful thing in the world and is going to struggle to run some games. But importantly, it runs all day long at 15 watts, which means that the battery life is good on the Steam Deck. I'm sure it'll be good on the regular Xbox Ally. And you're still going to have something which is manageable to carry, manageable to hold, manageable to sort of play for long distances and sort of long amounts of time. And importantly, not cost $800. The market for gamers who are going to go out there and spend more than $700 on a handheld is incredibly small. But you want to add an extra device to your life, and you're like $400 or $500, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I want to give it a try. Like, I think it's such a bigger market. I just don't believe that there's that many people to justify all these things existing above $800. Like, it's just crazy to me. What do you think about the Legion Go 2? And what is your ideal gaming handheld? I'm really curious. What would it take for you to actually buy one of these if you don't have one already? And if you do have one already, what is it that you like about yours, or what is it that you want out of another version? I get very different answers when I talk to people about this, but to me, efficiency, baby. I want to save money. I want to save battery life. I want to save weight. More efficiency is better efficiency. Am I right?
All I wanted was this one to feel a little bit better. They could have given me this exact same spec. I would have been happy. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.